Good morning, Cincinnati. This is Gary Rossignol, Cincinnati's only rock and roll realtor with RE/MAX Preferred Group. We're getting ready for another segment of the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour. And I have with me a special friend, special guest, and we're going to talk about a lot of things this morning. We're going to go over that here in just a moment.
We're going to figure out what that's going to be.
He is my friend, Mike McCormick. He is the CincyTaxCoach with Financial Clarity Group. And we're going to talk about things that, taxes probably aren't that exciting, but we're going to make it fun this morning. I got some.
It all depends on perspective.
It'll be a good perspective for sure. And that's Dan. He's busy getting ready for the show.
Good morning.
He is my producer, and without Dan, you wouldn't be able to hear us. And without a little bit of Facebook, you wouldn't be able to see us. So let's see. Is Stephanie on yet? I don't know if she is or not, but she'll be coming on here in a moment. I got some special things for my daughter and my grandbaby. But we got a lot of neat things going on. I'm going to plug you into the studio feed. We'll be going live on the radio. That's WDJO, 1480 AM, 99.5 FM, or 107.9 FM, whichever you choose, in full stereo, in about a minute or 2 minutes.
This is Paul Keels. The Buckeyes open the season this Saturday against Oregon State. Hear all the action right here on your home for Buckeye football, WDJO Cincinnati.
ABC News Now, I'm Mona Rivera. A memorial service for Senator John McCain will be held today at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. ABC's Martha Raddatz says two of his former rivals will speak.
You'll see former President Barack Obama and former President George W. Bush. Both of them will eulogize John McCain. John McCain was all about bridging divides.
Yesterday, thousands of people filed past the senator's casket at the Capitol Rotunda. Tomorrow, McCain will be buried at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. The Queen of Soul has been laid to rest, and a former president, Bill Clinton, spoke at Aretha Franklin's funeral yesterday in Detroit.
She lived with power, not without weakness, but overcoming her weaknesses. I just loved her.
President Trump may be backpedaling on a pay freeze plan. He now says he's going to study whether to cancel pay raises for federal employees. This is ABC News.
Intervals of clouds and sun, warm and humid today. There will be a shower and thunderstorm or two around during the afternoon and evening hours. Today's high 84, then partly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight, low 71. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sunshine, quite warm and humid, high 89. For Monday, Labor Day, partly to mostly sunny, hot and humid, high 91. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on Cincinnati's Oldies Network, WDJO.
The following is a paid program. Its views and opinions are not necessarily those of this station or its management.
Good morning, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour, starring Gary Rossignol of RE/MAX Preferred Group. To be part of the program, dial 513-563-1480 to get your answers to questions about your home and property. That number again, 513-563-1480. Now, here's Gary.
Hey, good morning, Cincinnati. It's a great Saturday morning, and that's what I love about weekends. I get to spend Saturday mornings talking with you about real estate and music and lots of things in between. But I need guests to do this right. So this morning I have a gentleman with me. We are friends and business associates, and he is no stranger to the show. This is the CincyTaxCoach, Mr. Mike McCormick.
Morning, Gary.
Hey, you're getting a standing ovation.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah, of course you did. You didn't have your headphones on. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the uncomfortable topic that we're all faced with, and that's the T word, taxes.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah. we
need a sound effect for that.
Yeah. And we're going to discuss a delightful topic, retirement.
Retirement? Sure. We can talk about retirement.
You know both of those things and everything in between. But first, we want to give the listening audience and our Facebook friends an opportunity to get themselves a free cup of joe at our favorite coffee joint, Starbucks. So here's the trivia question for today. Name the 3 members of the Bee Gees, and which one is remaining? There were 4 brothers, 3 in the Bee Gees, and there's 1 left.
Okay.
So name all 3 Bee Gees and the one who's remaining. 513-563-1480.
I think I can
51.
I think I got 3 of them, but I don't know.
You probably have the young one who wasn't part of the Bee Gees.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he passed
No, I got
first.
I got those. It's the non-family member that I can't remember.
Okay. Well, no, they were all brothers.
They were all family. Okay.
Yeah, they were all brothers,
Okay.
right? All 4 were brothers, but there was only 3 of the 4 brothers were made up the Bee Gees.
Okay.
And the youngest one was much younger than
Yeah.
them, and he was a star in his own right. Went to stardom too quick and had,
as often happens.
yeah, had problems. I guess he didn't file his taxes.
Probably didn't have a will the way stars seem to be doing
Probably
it.
not, yeah. And life got caught up with him, and he went bye-bye. So anyhow, but he was a good. He was quite a star. They were all fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyhow, 513-563-1480, and please, if you called in the last several weeks, don't call in. Let some new person call in. We don't want to disqualify you, but we love the fact that you tune into our show every week. So 513-563-1480, and you can, if you have a question for Mike McCormick or myself, anything to do with taxes, business entities, what do you do about your IRAs or your
Real estate, rental properties.
Rental properties. If you're an investor,
if you have money stranded in a former employer plan,
and we're going to divulge some things, particularly for realtors, that they need to know about. Things going on with that you need to know about is when it comes time to file your taxes. You may have to file several returns if you work in different cities and communities in the greater Cincinnati area. A lot of realtors, probably most realtors, are not aware of that.
Most realtors aren't following it, whether they're aware of it or not.
We wait till we get
it's not just real estate agents. I don't want to pick on them, but it's any small business may not be following those particular rules.
Yeah, we don't know that,
yeah.
And that's why we turn to the tax coach, the CincyTaxCoach, and that's who you are. And the tax coach, the TC is that the designation that you have?
Well, there's a certified tax coach program that's out there,
CTs,
and there are several. You know, the main credential that you need to know that I have is that I'm a certified public accountant licensed in the state of Ohio. That's the main credential. You know, I have other credentials and education and training in other areas, but the main thing you need to know is that I'm a CPA.
And that takes a lot to get.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter's a CPA, and I remember countless, many hours, days, weeks, and months of her horizontal on the couch with the laptop on her belly, studying, falling asleep, and.
My nephew is studying for the exam, and I invited him to join us today at Brookville Lake. I don't know if we're going to make it, but he said, "No, I've got to study for the exam. I'm taking it next weekend." So,
yeah, but how much better to study for the exam than to spend the afternoon on the lake with his uncle, who is already a CPA?
Well, that's what I try to convince him, but he's really taking it serious, so he's going to get it done this time.
All right,
so,
good. Yeah. Then they will. They will. And she thought, oh, she just missed it by a couple of points, and
devastating.
Yeah, it is, especially after all the hours that you put into it. And I think there's 4 tests you have to pass, and I think 2 of them are really tough. One of them is minimal, and the other one is pretty.
They're
easy.
all pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we joke that it's much easier now, though. They don't have to take all 4 parts at once over a weekend in Columbus or Dayton. It's computerized. They can use calculators.
You have to schedule a time and go into a certain room where they monitor it, and you spend several hours, and then you walk out, and then you keep your fingers crossed and pray a little bit and hope that the Lord gave you what you needed to answer all the questions right.
That's right. Yeah, we had to walk through the snow both ways to take the test.
Know the material.
You have to know the material.
And I don't think that it's, from what I understand, it's not multiple choice.
Good portion of it is, but there's still, I think there's still an essay type section. I don't follow it anymore since I've passed it. It's not something that I have to be cognizant of.
Is it like getting your I know when I took my real estate license, it was a 2-hour test and so many questions, and you had to study. And I took some of the pre-testing courses, and they ask you strange things like how many square feet's in an acre. I've never ever had a buyer ask me, well, how many square feet is in that acre?
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
The stuff that you had to know to get your real estate license, none of it matters when it comes to picking up the phone, talking to customers, clients, buyers, sellers, showing properties, writing offers, contract. That all comes in the continuing education that we have to get every year.
Well, it comes in. The CPA exam is similar. The CPA exam covers such a broad range of topics that depending on which direction you go with your career, it may apply or it may not. But then there's after that, you're taking continuing education classes, but more importantly, you're actually learning as you go. I mean, we're in the 20 years that I've been practicing, I've seen so many different scenarios that prepare me for the next one. I can build on that base of knowledge because I've dealt with so many different types of businesses, whether it's a doctor who owns his practice or a manufacturer or a real estate agent or an attorney, whatever it is, that the body of knowledge that we accumulate as we practice, same with real estate agents, it allows us to help the next client.
Right. So we want to reach out to realtors here in just a few minutes, but you mentioned to me, and you gave me these 3 or 4 initials, SSTBs. Sounds like a communicable disease, but it's
not an STD.
No. And I flipped back, and I did look it up what it was, and I have a whole website on what
the initials
specified service or trade business.
Specified service, trade, or business.
Right. And those criteria are whether or not the business is run and generates its revenue based on the skill or knowledge of one or more of the employees or the owners. Okay. So what's the ramification if you do fall into that classification? Well, that's the thing. It's like a communicable disease. Is something you don't want. Okay. Because of the Trump tax changes, there's something that's called that is available to pass through entities, business owners. Most small business owners are pass through entities in one way or another. It's a 20% deduction based on the net income from your company or your tax liability. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you are not an SSTB or a specified service trader business, there are no limitations on whether you can take that deduction or not, the 20% deduction. Okay. If you are an SSTB, okay, if you are a specified service trader business, the ramification is that you have to meet some tests to potentially limit the amount of that 20% deduction that you get. Okay, so if you are an SSTB, if your income is over certain thresholds, as a single person, I think it's $165,000. As a married couple, it's $315,000 in taxable income. At $315,000 in taxable income, your 20% deduction starts to get phased out. Okay, which means you may lose it. You may not get any benefit from Trump's tax change. If you are not a specified service trader business, you don't have to go through that test. Okay, so there's no limit. So my guess, if you will, or my projection was that real estate agents, because it in my opinion, it has to do with their skill in being an agent, they were going to fall into that category. They were going to be considered specified or not. I'm sorry. They were going to be considered specified service trader business and have a limitation, but that seems to not be the case. We're getting information now where they're going to meet some of the exceptions, and real estate agents will not be in that group. So high earning real estate agents will not have a limit on their deduction, which is great news. Can we do that song? Okay, we need to go away for a break, but I got a special song for my daughter Steph and her baby, my granddaughter Brinley, and I think it's coming up right now. Here we go. This is for you, Brinley. This is for you, Steph. Yeah. Now, there's some dancing that goes along with this, too, Mike. You got to dance with me.
Oh, no.
Baby shark, baby shark, baby shark. Mommy shark, mommy shark, mommy shark, mommy shark.
All right. That's for you, Brinley. I hope you enjoyed that. We need to go away for our first break. When we come back, Moment with Myles and more fun stuff. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 1480 to AM 995 and 1079.
When was the last time you wasted your money? Worse yet, you wasted it on something you didn't really want anyway, like income taxes. Local CPA and certified tax coach Mike McCormick regularly helps people like you find areas where they've wasted their hard-earned money, paying more in taxes than the tax code requires. Experience the power of proactive tax planning. Call the tax coach, Mike McCormick, today.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for staying with us, folks. I hope you enjoyed that little song and dance. We got more fun stuff coming up in the show. So we're going to say hi to Heather, Regina, Maria, Phil, our president of the Cincinnati Board of Realtors on here. Stay tuned, Phil. You need to spread the word about some of the things that we're going to talk about this next segment, which is going to be directed right towards realtors. Don's watching.
So I got Barry and Maurice.
With special guest Mark Blackwood of the Blackwood Quartet and former members of the Stamps Quartet, Larry Strickland and Donnie Sumner. The Elvis Tribute Artist Spectacular. Tickets are on sale now, so come celebrate musical history for Elvis's birthday.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Visit etaspectacular.com today.
Geico presents Unhelpful Home Improvement How-Tos.
Lightning can spark a fire in seconds. So today, I'll show you how to protect your belongings by covering them in a fireproof blanket fort. All you need is a hammer, nails, and 700 fireproof blankets. Upon completion, you'll notice your apartment isn't just fireproof, it's also extremely cozy.
You could try to protect your valuables with a fireproof blanket fort, or you could get covered for personal property damage through the Geico Insurance Agency. Go to geico.com to see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, buy Spectracide Bug Stop with AccuShot Sprayer and get a free refill. Great news for you, bad news for bugs. Bug Stop kills bugs on contact, indoors and out, and can even protect your home for up to a year. And a free refill is even more of a good thing. Unless you're a bug. Get a free refill with purchase of Spectracide Bug Stop with AccuShot Sprayer. Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Limit 2 per customer. Selection varies by store and store only.
It's the 22nd annual River Run Car Show, Saturday, September 1st, in beautiful Madison, Indiana on the riverfront. Registration opens at 10, featuring classic cars, muscle cars, street rods, antique cars, restored originals, motorcycles, and special interest vehicles. Over 350 cars expected to be on display. Car Show Awards at 4, with Best of Show, Best Class, Travelers Award, and the Fabulous 50. Live music all day, including the Doctors Band and the Monarchs. Food and concessions available. Go to visitmadison.org for more info.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for staying with us. I know you won't regret it. I'm your host, Gary Rossignol with RE/MAX Preferred Group, better known as Cincinnati's Rock and Roll Realtor. I'll explain why in a few moments. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, this is the moment we've been waiting for.
Oh, I'm sailing for tomorrow, my dreams are dying, and my love is
This is the captain of our ship, Mr. Myles Petersburg, with A Moment with Myles. Good morning, Myles.
Hey, Gary, rock and roll, my friend. Gary, Labor Day, the first Monday in September, is a creation of the labor movement and is dedicated to the social and economic achievements of American workers. It constitutes a yearly national tribute to the contributions workers have made to the strength, prosperity, and well-being of our country. The first Labor Day holiday was celebrated on Tuesday, September 5th, 1882, in New York City, 136 years ago. Gary, work is a blessing, and Chris and I would like to take this time to thank everyone who has the discipline to get up every morning and make a positive contribution to our society by putting in a good, hard, honest day of work. God bless America. And that's this morning's Moment with Myles.
Oh, that's a good one, Myles. Thank you very much. 136 years. Wow, we're celebrating. And that brings me to mention that I'd also like to take this moment and express my gratitude to all the troops, the veterans, and the first responders. And these are the men and women who selflessly strive to keep our nation and city streets safe and free. If you're out and about and you see somebody in uniform, give them the thank you sign from afar. Go up and shake their hand, give them a big hug, pick up their tab if you're in a restaurant or a coffee joint, and let them know that we recognize them and we thank them for their service. They will be very grateful that you reached out to them and let them know that, because they work very hard for us.
Absolutely.
I have with me Mr. Mike McCormick, Financial Clarity Group, 513-488-1121, 513-488-1121. He is the CincyTaxCoach. And we've got several realtors on Facebook right now. So why don't we just jump into the part that we were talking about the other day on your webinar.
Mm-hmm.
We got in quite a discussion about that. And that webinar is on every
last
Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. If you want to jump on board, just call Mike McCormick, 513-488-1121. It's a two-way discussion webinar. He's live, and you can ask him any question. He has pertinent topics which are built around realtors. So I do have a lot of realtors who tune in and watch on Facebook. So
yeah, the idea is to give agents a place to go to ask questions. You know, I usually start out with a topic. This week it was on the SSTB. Then we opened up to questions to the group. You know, I think it should be considered a resource for agents to pose questions to someone that may be able to find an answer for you. If I don't know it, I'll find out, and we'll talk about it the following month.
We'll give them an answer. It may not be the right answer, but
I will do my best to make sure it's the correct answer.
All right. Just joking. We're having fun here this morning. But yeah, we want to and you know, the general public out there needs to know that we are in tune with the laws that govern realtors so that we can do a better job for them.
Right.
You know, if we're not up to date with the tax codes, the tax laws, we don't follow the proper procedures, we're not going to be in business very long. Right. And you want to hire someone who is on top of everything, not only the marketing and the selling and making offers on properties and giving real estate advice, but who employs specialists like you that can keep our side of the street clean so that we can stay in business for a long, long time. So what was it that was the main crux of the discussion the other morning we were talking about?
Well, my lead into that webinar this week was that I got something wrong. And what I got wrong was that I thought real estate agents were going to fall into the requirements for the specified service trader business and have their 20% business deduction that's available now limited, or have it go away if they were super high earning agents. And I was wrong. Real estate agents are not going to be considered part of that group, which is a good thing for agents. You know, unfortunately for me, I am by definition in the code a specified service trader business. So accountants, attorneys, doctors, actuaries, and a few other specific industries, professions are considered specified service trader businesses, which means their revenues are derived from the skills and knowledge of athletes, performers, are derived from the knowledge or skills of the owners or a key employee. So we have the possibility of having our 20% business income deduction limited if you fall outside of that group. And some groups were specified as not falling into the specified service trader business. So engineers and architects were excluded right off the bat. But the guidance we're getting now is indicating that real estate brokers and real estate agents are not going to be part of that group either. So that's a good thing for the real estate business. A musician, I would think, would be considered a performer and could potentially be in that group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would be be in both sides.
You might you have to watch it on both sides. So in one group you might be, in the other you might not.
Yeah.
So as a real estate agent, you're not. But from the performing arts side, you very well could be. For that, so that for that portion of your
Does
income.
the real estate part trump the?
No. No, because in your case you have pass through entities for the band and pass through entities for the real estate. So you have to look at both of those activities to determine whether one is or is not, and then how that passes into the entire calculation.
We've got a lot of realtors who play music, so I'm not the only one. so I hope you're taking notes, ladies and gentlemen, especially those of you who have your realtor's license that are practicing real estate.
Yeah, my goal with real estate agents is to show them how to run better businesses. I think as a whole, agents do a great job in the marketing, the public relations, everything that gets the transaction to the closing. In my opinion, and that's why one of my education classes is the business after closing. After closing, real estate agents in general, I don't want to specify everybody, but in general, their business falls apart. They're not running a business. They're not treating it as a business. They don't realize that they are a business owner. In Ohio, a real estate agent is self-employed in most cases. There are probably some that are W-2, but in most cases, they're a business owner the day they get their license. And it's sometimes difficult for them to make that transition from being an employee somewhere else to being the boss. And they really are the boss. They have to track their revenue and expenses. They got to report their own income, report their own tax return.
And the following up after the transaction is staying in touch with those clients.
Well, that's part of the marketing.
Their future business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the marketing. And in most cases, they do that pretty well. But the business side of it, the knowing how their business is doing day to day is something that I think they struggle with. If you ask an agent, we're just over 8 months into the year. What are your revenues? They might know. They might know what their commissions are. What's your net income year to date? A lot of them will have no idea. Those are numbers you need to run a business. How much have you spent in marketing as a percentage of your total revenue? I don't know. How much have you spent in total marketing period?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. And we'll get into that in a few moments too, about when is the time to start preparing for tax season. But one thing that was brought up in your webinar was that different communities will require real estate agents who, if you have a listing and a sale, let's say in Sharonville or Blue Ash.
It's not so much just real estate agents, it's any business. If you're doing business in multiple cities in the greater Cincinnati area, Blue Ash, Montgomery, City of Cincinnati, Norwood, wherever it might be, all of them have their own income tax filing responsibilities. So it's possible, especially an agent, because you guys are doing business in so many different areas, that you might trigger a filing responsibility and then a corresponding potential tax liability. So it's something to be aware of and know where you're selling the properties. Are you concentrated in a certain community, Montgomery or Blue Ash or whatever it might be, and have you triggered the responsibility to file a tax return with that city? Okay, in Ohio, it could be Cincinnati, Toledo, Dayton, Cleveland, Columbus. All of these major metropolitan areas have multiple filing jurisdictions. This isn't just Cincinnati. It really is multiple taxing areas, and I don't think that's ever going to change, because it would be tough to get some of our communities to want to merge with other communities. Just pure politics. For that, not alone.
Is it something that we realtors should just up front go ahead and file wait till they contact us?
Well, that's the tough part. It's in my opinion, it's better to know you have a filing responsibility and attempt to take care of it and attempt to follow the rules. If they come to you later, you're dealing with a penalty potentially. So the penalty is going to be at least $25. So the problem is that the penalty may be worse than the tax was, except now you have a tax preparation fee to file a tax return that has a tax due that's really pretty nominal. So in some municipalities, so it's a tough thing.
Yeah. So when is tax season? I mean, it's for you. It's pretty much year round.
Tax season runs pretty much all year long. Yeah.
Depending on the type of clients that you're working with. You're working with corporations. You're working with individuals.
Yeah. The obviously the individual filing deadline is April 15th or whatever the.
But we've got,
date
being
is.
a business owner, I have one coming up
you
here.
You have different due dates. So the corporate deadline is generally March 15th. But those returns can be extended to September 15th, so that's rapidly approaching.
Right.
The individual extended due date is October 15th. Now, it doesn't mean the tax can be paid in October. It just means that the return is due. The tax was technically due back in April.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't paid and you owe, you're incurring some interest penalties on the balance that you owe. But yeah, the corporate deadline for S corporations and partnership returns is rapidly approaching.
Okay. We need to go away for our second break. When we come back, going to get my music history, and we're going to discuss some retirement.
Sure.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO, 1480 AM, now on FM 99.5 and 107.9 FM.
The house is a rockin', don't bother.
Why rent when you can own with no money down? If you're looking to become a first-time homeowner in the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky areas, or heck, even if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and are now looking to buy, you may be eligible to receive up to $15,000 in homeowners assistance towards closing costs, pre-closing expenses, or even your whole down payment. That's right, you can own your own home with no money down. Find out if you qualify. Call Gary at 513-777-2402. That's Gary at 513-777-2402.
Is there a day coming up for someone special and you're thinking about jewelry? Well, the price is always a factor. So here's an important tip. Don't pay someone else's overhead costs. Like the fancy stores and the mall shops, they pass it on to you. The Jewel King is a single store with no overhead because the king owns it. And he'll give you the finest jewelry at the lowest cost. Jewel King, 8th and Monmouth in Newport. Don't pay someone else's overhead.
You may not know the time it takes to create delicious breads and pastries made from the finest flour and the freshest ingredients, baked fresh every morning. What you should know is how great they taste. The Whitesell family of North College Hill Bakery still crafts mouth-watering treats the old-fashioned way, so you don't have to. For over 70 years, Tri-State families have trusted North College Hill Bakery to create delicious baked goods and cakes with their scrumptious buttercream.
Okay, folks, we got a lot more stuff coming up, so don't touch that dial. Don't leave. Let's see. Stephanie, you are on. I'm sorry. And Stephanie's watching. Yeah, I don't know if you caught it the last break, but I did a special song for you in Brindley. Maybe I can throw it back in again later on during the show. So don't leave. Stay with us for the whole show, and I will we'll try and bring that up again. Right, Dan?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll like to do that. Get a little song and dance in here just for you guys. So stay tuned.
Come to the right place. Crash. Oops, that's okay. Say, why do they call you Crash?
Heck if I know.
From minor touch-ups to major mess-ups, the name you need to remember is Mount Healthy Auto Body. 521-8600. Mount Healthy Auto Body. Precision collision repair since 1930. 521-8600. Come see them at 1595 Madison Avenue, 1 block north of the Ronald Reagan Cross County Highway in beautiful Mount Healthy.
This is Oktoberfest time in Hamilton. Klaus Geis for the Liberty Home Association. It's Oktoberfest time in Hamilton with the Tri-State's oldest 53rd annual Liberty Home Oktoberfest Labor Day weekend. German foods, beers, music, and games for all ages. Liberty Home Oktoberfest with new hours this year. Friday 5 to 11, Saturday 1 to 11, Sunday 1 to 8. Come out for our 4th annual car show Sunday from 12 to 3. It's Oktoberfest time in Hamilton. Visit libertyhome.net.
Intervals of clouds and sun, warm and humid today. There will be a shower and thunderstorm or two around during the afternoon and evening hours. Today's high 84, then partly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight, low 71. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sunshine, quite warm and humid, high 89. For Monday, Labor Day, partly to mostly sunny, hot and humid, high 91. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on Cincinnati's Oldies Network, WDJO.
All right, it's time for fun with music trivia, and here's what happened on this day back in 1966. The Byrds played the first of an 11-night run at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood, California. The Whiskey A Go-Go opened in 1964 with a live band led by Johnny Rivers, and a short-skirted female DJ spinning records between sets from a suspended cage. When the girl began to dance during Rivers' set, the audience thought it was part of the act, and the concept of go-go dancers in cages was born. Today in 1967, the four Beatles held a meeting at Paul McCartney's house in London to decide upon their next course of action following the death of manager Brian Epstein. They decided to postpone their planned trip to India and begin the already delayed production of the Magical Mystery Tour movie. They have two songs already recorded for the movie, The Magical Mystery Tour and Your Mother Should Know. And today in 1977, Blondie, featuring former Playboy bunny Deborah Harry, signed their first major record company contract with Chrysalis Records. And today in 1979, U2 released their very first record, an EP entitled U2-3. With an initial run of 1,000 individually numbered copies, the tracks were produced by the band and Shada Wally and was available only in Ireland. And today in 1980, Fleetwood Mac ended a 9-month world tour with a performance at the Hollywood Bowl. Lindsey Buckingham announced on stage, "This is our last show for a long time." Today in 1984, after a 25-year career, Tina Turner had her first solo #1 single in the U.S. with What Love Got to Do With It. What's Love Got to Do With It? The song was originally written for Cliff Richard, however, the song was rejected. Was then offered to Donna Summer, who has stated she sat on it for a couple of years but never recorded it. And today in 2013, classic Beatles albums finally went platinum after the British phonographic industry changed its sales award rules. Gold or platinum status has become synonymous with record success, but the system has only been in place since 1973. This made Sgt. Pepper's a triple platinum album, having sold more than 900,000 copies since 1994. In total, the album is estimated to have sold, get this, 5.1 million units in the UK since its 1967 release. The albums Revolver, Help, Rubber Soul, and the White Album also now had platinum status. Here's the stuff on the trivia question. Born on this day in 1946, that makes him 72 years old today. Happy birthday, Barry Gibb. Singer, songwriter, and producer of the Bee Gees. 1967 #1 single, Massachusetts. 1978 #1 single, Night Fever, plus over 30 other top UK singles, and 9 US #1s over 4 decades. In 1994, he was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame with his brothers. In 1997, as a member of the Bee Gees, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and received the Brit Award for Outstanding Contribution to Music. The Bee Gees have sold 220 million record sales. That's huge. I hope you enjoyed that. And I know one of the winners we have Tracy Smith. She says she has all their records. She loves the Bee Gees. Cedra Jones won as well. And John Wilkie and Anthony Sewell. You all guessed the trivia question for today. I'll be in touch with you to claim your rewards. So that's I'm the Rock and Roll Realtor because I play with the greatest classic rock band, Bluestone Ivory. And you will hear us live next on September the 22nd at the National Voice of America fundraiser, which is from 7:30 to 9:30, and that'll be there's a dinner and a dance, lots of history with Cincinnati's very own Jim Scott as the MC. So you want to mark that on your calendar. I also play with the Westchester Symphony, and this Monday, we'll be at Keener Park at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a warm one, but we do our movie magic show. So we got a lot of tribute to Henry Mancini, Forrest Gump, Titanic, Pirates of the Caribbean, Disney favorites, Jurassic Park, Mamma Mia. We got a lot a huge show for you, and that's this Monday. Come on out for a great show and say hi to Lutz Flowers. That's Lutz Flowers Haus, HAUS.com, 513-921-0561. If you need flowers for a date, for your sweetheart, for weddings, for funerals, whatever, don't be a Lutz.
Just because.
Yeah, just because. Don't be a Lutz, call Lutz. Don't be a klutz, call Lutz. That's what catchphrase is. I have with me Mr. Mike McCormick. He is the Cincy Tax Coach with Financial Clarity Group, 513-488-1121. Many people dream of retiring, others dread the thought, and many simply can't. So what's the biggest problem with saving for retirement, Mike?
What is the biggest problem, Gary?
Yeah.
It's actually saving for retirement. Yeah. It's actually doing it, putting money aside, right? That's the trouble. And it's a common thing I see with agents as well. You know,
now you work.
You work. That's right. You just keep working.
Yeah.
We have so many things going on, and a lot of people are carrying so much debt that they're not able to put money aside for saving for down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the biggest problem. It's actually saving for retirement. That's the biggest problem with saving for retirement. You have to make space for it, and part of doing that is getting rid of bad debt and actually putting money aside, even small amounts. There's never a bad time to begin saving for retirement. I sent this in a message to a client the other day. You know, the adage that says, when was the best time to plant a tree? It was 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So when's the next best time? It's right now. Plant the tree right now. And that's what your retirement is. It's your tree for the future. So the best time to do it was 20 years ago, but the next best time is just to start right now. Get it moving. If you need some help, call us, call me. I do an education program on the first Tuesday of the month in Blue Ash, and it's a financial education program. It's free. You can reach out to me, and I'd be happy to send you information about it. It's Mike at financialclaritygroup.com. We cover various topics that help get you started, get you to understand the market, get you to understand why it's not a bad thing, and we'll help you start saving for retirement.
Yeah, I've been to all but this last
Several,
one, I think. Yeah. And they're all very informative.
Yeah.
And then we go to BW's afterwards for dinner.
Not always, but
we try to do what tax implications for retired people.
Okay.
I mean, you work and you pay taxes and you do tax. So those of us who have saved for retirement, although I had somebody ask me, "What are you going to do when you retire?" And I thought a moment. I don't know.
Well, that's just it. Retirement's been redefined, right? Most people are not going to do like my grandpa did and retire and then sit in the lazy boy for another 10, 15 years.
Right.
You know, that's just not what retirement is anymore. You know, we're going to continue to do something, probably do something and get paid for it. So it's not the same anymore.
I mean, I have so many goals and so much information swimming around in my head and so much experience. I just enjoy sharing that, and whether I get paid well, which I do, or not, it's something that I like to do.
Right. Yeah, so why stop? Why not continue to give that in some way, whether it's to a charity, Dragonfly, or other, or to another charity that you may be interested in, or continue to do it as a consultant, you know, help other agents, or continue to sell. Your business is similar to mine in that, you know, it doesn't take a physical ability to do it. It's you just have to have the will to, somewhat, but I mean, it's more of a getting out there and doing it, not so much you're lifting something and moving it and that kind of stuff. It's something we can do well into our later years, you know, into our 70s very easily.
Right. So the second Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday of the month is the financial education program. The last Wednesday of the month is the real estate agent. I call it the Thriving Agent webinar series. Real estate agents, you can go to our website, financialclaritygroup.com, click on the blog, and it's the most recent post, and there it mentions the Thriving Agent webinar series, and there's a registration button right there so you can get on the list. If you can't make it, you'll get a copy of the replay.
Okay, great. That's Mike McCormick, the Cincy Tax Coach with Financial Clarity Group, 513-488 1121 if you want to know about his webinars. If you're a realtor or not a realtor and you want to learn to set yourself up for retirement, however you want to do that, casually, aggressively, or you may not know. Right. These are free. I mean, you're giving this stuff away. It's a no-brainer. It's just a matter of giving up a little bit of time and enjoying the pizza that he brings in. And then we go to BW's afterwards.
Right. Most people spend more time planning their vacation than they do their retirement.
Yeah,
so
right.
Spend some time.
So is it time for break? Okay, we need to go away for our last break. Don't touch that dial. We have a little visit from Ria Davidson of the Dragonfly Foundation coming up. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 1480, now on FM 995 and 1079.
The house is a rockin', don't bother.
When was the last time you wasted your money? Worse yet, you wasted it on something you didn't really want anyway, like income taxes. Local CPA and certified tax coach Mike McCormick regularly helps people like you find areas where they've wasted their hard-earned money, paying more in taxes than the tax code requires. Experience the power of proactive tax planning. Call the tax coach, Mike McCormick, today at 513-488-1121 or visit financialclaritygroup.com to get started.
Come out to Coney Island for fun things to do. Your kids will love it and so will you. It's an affordable way to have fun all day. It's all here for you, so come out and play. Come out and play. There's more family fun than ever before. You'll paddle, you'll putt, and come back for more. You'll swim and slide and splash away. Come out and play. You'll fly through the air on rides all day. Come out to Coney Island. Come out and play.
Join Cruisapalooza at Coney Island Saturday, September 1st. All classic cars and trucks welcome. Music, food, and fun. Visit ConeyIsland.com.
You know, it's easy to turn your unwanted, broken, or unused gold and silver jewelry and coins into needed cash. Gold and silver, class rings, old wedding bands, coin collections, proof sets, and old currency can be turned into needed cash fast. Franklin Street Coin Company in Sharonville pays more because they buy more. You get the highest prices available fast at Franklin Street Coin Company, 10855 Reading Road in Sharonville. A proud sponsor of Buckeyes football on 1480 WDJO. Go Bucks!
One word that I would have to describe Dr. Peck would be perfectionist. I didn't like pictures taken because I could see my smile was not very attractive. Basically, I'd gotten to the point where I was going to have dentures. And so that's when we started the long journey, despite the time, the effort, the money. I would do this over again. People at work say, your teeth really look nice. And I said, I know, don't they?
For your own beautiful new smile, call Dr. Fred Peck at 513-621-7666 or visit pecksmiles.com.
I'm Connie Birdwell, and I love my new smile.
Who knew ADT, a home security company, offers caddy service? On the 18th hole, you get a buzz from your ADT app to check the front doorbell. It's your new 9-iron, delivered safely. The ADT app helps protect your family, home, and packages, but not your golf stroke. So you can keep practicing knowing everything's safe at home. Caddy service, brought to you by ADT. Visit ADT.com/smart to learn more. License information available at ADT.com. ADT, real protection.
Why rent when you can own with no money down? If you're looking to become a first-time homeowner in the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky areas, or heck, even if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and are now looking to buy, you may be eligible to receive up to $15,000 in homeowners assistance towards closing costs, pre-closing expenses, or even your whole down payment. That's right, you can own your own home with no money down. Find out if you qualify. Call Gary at 513-777-2402. That's Gary at 513-777-2402.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Hey, we are rocking and rolling this morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gary Rossignol with RE/MAX Refer Group, better known as Cincinnati's Rock and Roll Realtor. Next week, I have a great show planned for you. I've got the musical insurance guy, Mr. Gary Rasmussen with Farmers Insurance, will be here with me. Just like Mr. Mike McCormick's been in here this week, and he is with Financial Clarity Group, 513-488-1121. And thanks, Steph, for calling in. Sorry we couldn't take you on the air. I had to give this time to my friend, and I just love this lady. I saw her in action Saturday. Man, I'll tell you what, she goes into an event, and she takes charge in a very calm manner, and she has her and her volunteers the volunteers are numerous, and they all knew what to do, how to do it, and pulled off a great festival that we had last Saturday. But more than that, more than just doing events, she touches people's hearts. She gets them engaged in reality and life and living life to the fullest by putting smiles on their face. I don't know if I could say it any much better than that. But this is my friend, Ria Davidson. Good morning, Ria.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, Ria.
Oh, you're so sweet. I didn't feel like I was very much in control with the weather and everything and rushing out, but what a great event it was. And you're right, I'm so grateful to the volunteers and sponsors that made that happen.
Yeah, I've been in entertainment, and I've worked in studios, and I've worked live performances, and people say, which would you like better? And I like the live performances because it's so impromptu. You have to be ready to move with the weather, with the changes, with the ground loops, with the problems that creep up, with timing, and putting on events like you do. You do what, 300 and some events a year?
Well, we do 438 patient family events last year, and then we did 109 fundraisers, community events.
Oh my gosh!
That we were a part of. So, yeah, because you have to raise money to help these families, and we're not at the point where we're getting major corporate giving, and so we're very grassroots as an organization, and we need every penny.
Well, we want to thank everyone that came out to the second annual Rock and Roll Chalk Art Balloon Fest last Saturday at Union Center Boulevard. We had a bunch of people come out and brave the weather. Things changed, things happened, but the chalk artists were fabulous.
They were so great. Yeah.
The sponsors were there. They hung out. They did their 150% and better, and we met our goals, and that was the end result, and that's all we cared about. Well,
absolutely, and we want to make it better and bigger every year.
August 24, 2019.
Yeah,
that's the date.
And we have Bluestone Ivory back, and next year hopefully we'll have not only them but the hot air balloon, and we'll continue to do the chalk art, and yeah, we're going to just make it bigger and better.
So for those who are listening in and are not really that familiar with the Dragonfly Foundation, I find it hard to believe, but give us a real quick rundown of what it is that the foundation does for folks.
Sure. We help patients and pediatric cancer patients birth to age 40, and we help them emotionally, relationally, and practically. So anything that provides strength, courage, and joy while they're in the hospital or recovering long-term. Everybody knows about chemo and radiation, but really nobody talks about the trauma of treatment, the long-term impacts, and the financial challenges that families have. And we connect them to not only each other, but to the community. And we help provide distractions at a time when they're feeling the most alone and isolated.
We had
nothing like us.
Yeah, we had dragonflies out to the festival Saturday. I think some of them actually volunteered and did some chalking.
Yeah, it was adorable, and it's so great to see them and to see them outside and to see them smile and to not think about cancer. It's a great thing to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, and and if you talk to them, those who have been through the process and their child or their siblings have gone through the other side and they're now clean from what was ailing them. They're so grateful to the Dragonfly Foundation because you give so much to them that they weren't aware of when they were admitted into the hospital and had extended stays into the hospital. You provide a service that I don't really like calling it a service. It's giving human kindness to people.
It is. We provide a second family for these people to rely on and to feel that they're a part of. It's hard to get better if you don't have hope. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to feel connected to the world when you don't have a community or if you don't have people who understand. And unless you've seen cancer up close and you've seen, again, what these families are challenged with, it's hard to even believe how devastating this is, And when you're with a group of people where you don't have to say the words necessarily, but you could just cry and know that people understand, or you could just be there and know that you're with people who get it, you know.
So if you want
an important thing to feel.
Yeah. So if you want to help the Dragonfly Foundation right now, get your smartphone out and text the word WINGS15, that's WINGS15, to 71777. Very secure. That'll hook you up to a very secure website where you can start donating with your credit card, debit card, whatever. That's WINGS15 to 71777. And 88% of every dollar that's donated goes right to the folks who need it.
Our patients and families, absolutely, and the hospitals.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ria. Thank you. I'm so happy that I've got the checks are pouring in from the sponsorship. I'll get with you this week on those.
Oh, wonderful.
And if anybody wants to know about the Dragonfly Foundation, go to dragonfly.org. It's a fabulous website. You can see all their events that are planned coming up and how you can help either by volunteering or financially. Next week, I have the musical insurance guy, Gary Rasmussen. If you have a real estate question or you want to know the value of your home, call me. I'm open for business. 513-777-2402. Again, big thanks to Mike McCormick for coming in this morning. Coming up next is Dane Donovan and the Car Tech Show. And to wrap things up for today, I've got a little snippet from the Westchester Symphony, which you won't hear this song, but you'll hear some great music this Monday at 7 o'clock at Keener Park. This is Cole Porter's Salute. Okay, folks, thanks for staying with us. I need to sign off now because we're going to have Dean Donovan come in and do his show live here in the studio. Hope you enjoyed the show.